great to hear.
Yeah, I mean, like, what do you think has connected with people about the show? Like, what do you think has touched a nerve, and why do you think they're so devoted to it?
I really think it's the characters.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just I mean, I think we told good stories. I like to think that, but I mean, I really think the thing that locks people in with our show more than some others is just the characters, the great voice work, the great designs Phil's done. Just they feel like members of the family to a lot of people, and that's why they're coming back for more.
I think they seem like they have real lives. I think that's something that we've all put a lot of energy and thought and creativity into, is just giving them that nuance that real people have.
That was the primary goal of the show when we sat down to develop the series a long time ago. We had to look at the shows that came before us, the other superhero shows that we've done at Warner Brothers Animation, and try to figure out how are we going to stand out amongst all these other great superhero shows. And we kind of, in a way, decided, well, let's not make a superhero show. Let's make a show about teenagers and their lives, and we'll fold superhero stuff into it. And along the way, we also decided to make it sort of a spy theme. So we wove a lot of secrets and lies into the show, and we did it in ways that really felt, I think, like the lives of a teenager. Really, there are a lot of secrets and lies and social dynamics going on, interplay between characters. It's very big and important, and can be very dramatic at a younger age. So, kind of looking at it through that lens, that really guided the development of the show, just focusing on characters. Like, forget that they're superheroes, forget that they're spies. Let's just find these characters first.
By the way, can you give each your name so when we're transcribing we can distinguish the voices?
Yeah, sure. And since I talked last, this is Brandon Vietti.
Phil Barassa, art director.
Thanks.
Greg Weissman, and I find this one in particular hypnotic.
Okay, so we're going to hypnotize you so you can give us all this spoilers. Oh, yeah.
Now, not that hypnotic.
Well, we can try. Now, it's been an agonizing wait for us, but how much time has passed within the show's universe? Like, are we coming back to another time skip?
There is another time skip, as we've announced before. If you're asking specifically how long that time skip is, no spoilers.
Are they still teenagers? Because you talked about wanting to make a show about teenagers.
There are still teenagers in the show.
Yes.
With DC,
There are teenagers.
And we're always bringing in new young characters. I mean, that's the young and Young Justice. There will always be
if
new
you look
young
at the
characters.
pattern that we established in the first 2 seasons, you can imagine, like, there are generations of heroes,
And many generations.
is one of those generations of heroes possibly the Tornado Twins? Because presumably they've been born.
They've definitely been born. I mean, that's just math. But I'm not saying whether or not they appear in the show. That you'll have to wait and see.
What kind of differences from a production standpoint is it going with the DC network that is launching now as opposed to one of the established networks?
Well, I mean, the great thing about the DC Universe streaming service is that we are able to age up the stories a bit from where we were with Cartoon Network. We can push the boundaries a little bit. We can make things darker. We can make things more dramatic. We can show things on screen that we couldn't before in terms of violence, and this is something we talked about this up front. We knew we were going to be able to do this, but we didn't want to be excessive about it. We didn't want to be over the top about it or gratuitous about it. So I think we've found a way to take advantage of these strengths that the DC Universe offers us in terms of storytelling and weave it into the show in a way that feels natural, doesn't feel forced, services the characters, services the stories without just being over the top or just doing it for the sake of doing it.
But horror is a major new sort of tone to the show that we didn't have in the first 2 seasons. There's definitely elements of horror this season that we're able to do now and expand upon that we couldn't have done at Cartoon Network.
So do you guys have storylines planned beyond this season? We've waited so long for a 3rd season and the fans
From day one, we've had storylines that go out at least 5 to 7 years. So I don't think we've planned much beyond year 7.
But we're always planting seeds.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. I didn't know you were still talking.
No, I was just saying we're always planting seeds. I mean, it's like almost impossible for us to get in a room and talk about story without talking about little mile markers in people's lives that we know will spin out in the future into something bigger, something larger. It may not be in the season that we're currently writing, but we know where it's going to go. And we've got all that stuff written down. He's got an office full of 3x5 cards that we just fill up endlessly with story ideas.
DC Universe is also offering, a huge comic book library, encyclopedic knowledge and stuff. I mean, fans now have access to all this information that they might not have had before. Does that change your creative process at all? Since they might have a lot more, be familiar with some of the storylines that you might be adapting.
I can't say it's changed our creative process. I mean, it's great that the DC Universe has that. Like, we're very excited about that. I mean, for a DC fan or even just somebody who's kind of new to the DCU, what an amazing place to enter the DC Universe and have so much of the history of their entertainment, from comics to movies to animation, just at your fingertips, ready to load up. But I think all along we've always tried to hit all the different audiences. When we're writing, we're trying to make sure that we're paying respect to the characters that we're working with that have been well established in comics. We want to make sure that hardcore fans are into it. We're doing it right for them, but also we're introducing fresh twists on famous stories, famous characters, so that it's something new and interesting for an old fan to watch, or for a brand new fan to kind of come in, and hopefully it just whets their appetite to learn even more about the DC Universe from their local comic shops or online, any of the available resources.
Can you describe the overall arc of the season at all, perhaps? No?